So I think something in me has changed recently, and I didn't even notice it happening at first. Weirdly, I don't think the biggest change was physical, it wasn't strength, it wasn't weight, it wasn't the way I looked. The biggest change was, I've been going to the gym, but it stopped being a thing that I was trying to do and just became a thing I do. I know it sounds small, but I genuinely think that's where the real shift happens with most things in life. As at the beginning, everything feels temporary. You're trying to change, you're trying to improve, you're trying to become someone else. And every session feels like a weird test of character, yeah? You're constantly asking yourself things, are you committed enough? Are you doing enough? Are you taking it seriously enough? Are you falling behind? All that. Should you be training harder? And honestly, I think that's where I was for a while, I was doing these massive gym sessions, 2 hours, 2.5 hours I was there, And yeah, part of it was, I was putting in a genuine effort, yeah? But if I'm being honest, I think another part of me was just trying to prove something to myself. Like, if I stayed harder, stayed longer, trained harder, there we go, or exhausted myself enough, then maybe I could, officially be someone who goes to the gym. And a lot of people do that at the beginning of everything. Not just fitness, yeah? Business, writing, learning, content creation, rebuilding your life, yeah? You almost feel like you need to earn the right to believe that you're serious, so you overdo it. You consume loads of videos, you're constantly analysing, you're trying to optimise, you're looking for the perfect routine, the perfect method, the perfect system, and it just drains your mental energy trying to become the kind of person who does things consistently. But something weird starts happening quietly. You barely notice it. You stop negotiating with yourself as much. It stops being, do I feel motivated today? And it's just like, and it becomes, it's Tuesday. I train on Tuesdays, yeah? And that's a completely different mental experience. Because the thing about motivation is it's emotional, yeah? Motivation is emotional, but routine, that's structural. And your identity is deeper than both, yeah? That's the part that nobody's talking about. Because long-term change doesn't happen because somebody's permanently motivated. You can't be permanently motivated. That's not what motivation is. It happens because eventually that new behaviour starts feeling normal, and that just becomes the behaviour. And I think that's where I am now with going to the gym, with doing the gym, yeah? It's not perfect. I'm not obsessed. I'm not some ultra disciplined machine. But it's not this massive dramatic thing, yeah? I don't spend all day debating about whether I'm going or not. I just go. And now I've calmed it down, my sessions are getting better, yeah? They're shorter. My recovery's better. The structure makes sense. My numbers are going up. And I think I've stopped treating it like an exam, yeah? I'm not trying to prove that I deserve to be there. I'm just training. I'm just doing it, yeah? And I think, again, is it social media, with this whole distorted view of what everyone's progress is meant to be. You know, everything is maximum effort, maximum intensity. You know, you train yourself to failure, to destroy yourself, no excuses, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, real progress looks pretty boring when it's happening, yeah? It's just repeating ordinary things so long enough that they stop feeling temporary. That's what it actually is, yeah? It's not some big rocky montage transformation. It's just repetition. I think that matters more when you're an adult, yeah? When you've got work, you've got your family, you've got responsibilities, you're stressed, you're fatigued, you know, people are depending on you. And you realize something important. The best system isn't the one that looks the most hardcore. It's the one that still works when life gets heavy. That's the difference. Loads of people can train hard for 2 months, yeah? But can they all build something sustainable? And I don't know, I don't want to be big-headed here, but I think that's the stage that I'm entering, yeah? The gym's not this big self-improvement project for me that I'm just trying to hold together. It's just become part of my week. Same with these videos, you know, that felt awkward to start with. You know, it felt forced. I overthought it. Like I was trying to be, someone who makes content, you know. But I just make videos. I don't always feel inspired. I've definitely not mastered it. I didn't become confident overnight. But the repetition removes the weirdness, yeah? That's the bit that people underestimate. You don't become confident first. You become familiar with something first, yeah? And that familiarity is what changes everything. I still have bad sessions. You know, I still overthink things. I still feel tired. I still question myself. I still don't know what I'm doing half the time, but I keep going. That's the difference, you know. I'm not forcing myself. It's just part of my life now. And honestly, I think that's where real change starts for most people. Not when you feel unstoppable, but when that thing stops being a decision.